Okay, this is another topic for HME 131, and this is all about adventure tourism. So, adventure travel is a type of tourism involving exploration or travel to remote, exotic, and possibly hostile areas. That is why it is termed adventure, because you're going to explore places that you are not used to or you are not familiar to. Adventure tourism is rapidly growing in popularity as tourists seek different kinds of vacations. According to the US based Adventure Travel Trade Association, adventure travel may be any tourist activity including two or the following three components: a physical activity, a culture exchange, or interaction and engagement with nature. So, adventure tourism gains much of its excitement by allowing its participants to step outside of their comfort zone. If all of you, or may a few of you, or not maybe all of you, are very into adventure, extreme activities, no, in which you are going to stay away from your comfort zone a little while to experience activities that are adrenaline pumping, no. So eventually, I am an example of a person who wants to explore, adventure to places that I can be visiting, no, in the future. I am scared of places that are not really familiar, but I am also willing to explore places that are new to me. So this may be from experiencing culture shock or through the performance of acts that require significant effort and involve some degree of risk, real or perceived, or physical danger. So this may include activities such as mountaineering, trekking, bungee jumping, mountain biking, rafting, zip lining, paragliding, and rock climbing, as well as skydiving. I am very into these activities because I want to expel all of my fears and worries about life. No, eventually, some of you also would like to share these ideas with me because not all the time we can experience this. We have an opportunity, and why not take risk? And then, adventure travelers often seek unique or new travel destinations and activities, as you can see in your PowerPoint presentation. This is an excerpt from the George Washington University School of Business, the Adventure Travel Trade Association, and Zola Consulting. It is often believed that a percentage of this sector is willing to accept limited tourism infrastructure with the promise of an exceptional and authentic experience. Given their penchant for exploring new destinations and seeking new experiences, they are frequently coveted by emerging destinations at the early stages of tourism development, and also in more mature destinations that have protected and or developed appropriate product. So if you're going to seek adventure, you need to understand that there are also instances wherein you are not given luxury, luxury ng mga amenities, no. You are going to the jungle or in any place where it is very risky and it's very dangerous. So if you are an adventuristic person, who wants to explore places wherein it's very new and it's very dangerous, no, risky. You need to understand some safety protocols so that you can come back alive. No, if you have seen there are some movies, no, in particular, in which I am going to share with you also. It's just the movie The Shallow. It's a story of Blake Lively. No, she is an apprentice a medical apprentice. Now she's gonna be a doctor, and then eventually she went to a port in Mexico or Spain to find this paradise. No, and what she encountered was not really paradise but danger, because she went surfing, and then she had met a very angry and very dangerous shark. It's very big, great white shark, and then from there you will see, how valuable life is, and you need to understand how to survive. So if you want to experience adventure, then you must at least think about it first. So, and then There are so many significant definitions from the UNWTO about adventure tourism. It is considered as both can be domestic or international, and like all travel, it must include an overnight stay but not last longer than 1 year, of course. So there are types of adventure tourism. So there are main categories or two main categories of adventure activities: hard adventure or soft adventure. And vigorous debate often surrounds which activities belong in each category, and the easiest way to identify an adventure trip as hard or soft adventure is by its primary activity. Um, Hard adventure includes trekking, climbing, usually mountain, rock, and ice, and then caving. These activities are high risk and require a high level of specialized skill. And surprisingly, this represented small percentages of the population but still uncovered a sizable market. The trend over the past 3 years indicates that the number of hard adventure trips has held steady at around 2% of the population. So there are less people who are into hard adventure because you need to be skilled and expert, no, before you're going to experience this type of adventures. And however, respondents in Latin America and Europe indicated that they intended to take a hard adventure trip for their next vacation, and in North America the trend was opposite, and the percent of people expressing the intention to take a hard adventure vacation dipped slightly. They are more into soft adventure than those adventures rather involving risk. And then we also have soft adventure on the other side, which represents a substantial percentage of trips worldwide. So, interestingly, compared to North Americans and Europeans, Latin Americans are taking the most adventure trips at 35% of total outbound travelers. And on average, 25% of international trips taken from all three regions are soft adventure trips. So, soft adventures are an important market or adventures for destinations and the gear companies and tour operators. So they are more likely to try different activities and destinations and hard adventures. They're also more likely to respond to targeted marketing. So there are more soft adventurers compared to the hard adventurers, and they want to experience travel, but they do not want to risk, their lives and safety. So we have here some examples of activities. We have archaeological expedition, which is considered soft, attending local festival or fairs, backpacking, bird watching, camping, canoeing. Hard adventures involve skiing, climbing mountain, rocks, or ice, and then also have cruise, cultural activities. And then ecotourism considered as soft, educational programs, environmental and sustainable activities, like say for example planting or raising plants for the next generation, and then fishing or fly fishing, and then getting to know the locals, socializing, and then lastly hiking. We also have horseback riding, hunting, kayaking, sea whitewater, and then learning a new language. We also have orienteering, rafting, research expeditions, and so on and so forth. There are so many other activities here in the PowerPoint presentation that I have presented that you need also to look into. So in the slides following the lecture that I have given a while ago, you can see there the examples of activities that you can divide into soft and hard adventures. Eventually, we're now going to the top product companies recognized by adventure travelers, providing gears to adventurers. So we have here Timberland, if they are familiar to you, Quicksilver. We have the Gore-Tex, North Face, Columbia Sportswear, the Montane, Eddie Bauer, Swiss Army Luggage, Solomon, and the LL Bean. So 11.2% adventure travelers own an iPhone, so they do not want an Android phone in abroad, no, eventually, because an iPhone provides a much higher security compared to Android phones. And then going into the brief history of adventure tourism, so humans have been engaging in adventurous travels for hundreds of years already via exploration by the likes of Marco Polo, Captain James Cook, and Sir Ernest Shackleton, with primarily scientific, geographic, or colonial motives. They are familiar also to us, in the history of the Philippines and in other countries. However, commercial adventure travel is a relatively new phenomenon in which travelers hire a professional guide to provide a range of technical support and equipment, as well as culture and nature interpretation. So way back, no, we have backpacking people who are very used to traveling alone without guide, no. But now we have new chartered or packaged tours and travels in which those adventurers are now hiring travel guides also for them to have a companion, no, in which someone will help them with their tools and equipment that they are going to use while doing adventures. And then in the mid 1800s, adventurers began to push limits of mountain climbing and river rafting, with the first ascent of the Matterhorn in 1865 and the descent of the Colorado River in 1869. And in the mid 1950s, many first ascents and descents attracted global attention and inspired many people to attempt their own expeditions. So Morris Herzog's ascent of Annapurna in 1950, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay's ascent of Mount Everest, and other successes were hailed in the media around the world. Today, adventure tourism is a vibrant, dynamic, and fast-changing sector with new variants routinely added into the possible experiences. Individual companies are often small, owner-operated businesses led by entrepreneurs with a drive to share their favorite places and passions with others. And adventure offers opportunities to entrepreneurs in rural areas around the world to do the same. And 69% of overall international travel departures leave from Europe, North America, and South America, and together these three regions account for over 263 billion US dollars in adventure travel expenditures only. And just imagine there are so many categories and parts of tourism, and adventure tourism holds about a billion and billions of money that are being generated just by doing an adventure. Just imagine how tourism will give to an economy of a specific country, you know. So we have here tourism different from other types of tourism. So why adventure tourism is different? Because the differences between adventure tourism and mass tourism are clear, but the differences between them can be more nuanced rather. Below are definitions of other popular types of tourism which share characteristics with the adventure tourism, such as minimizing negative impacts and increasing local benefits. We have sustainable tourism, a tourism that takes full account of its current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, the industry, environment, and host communities. Conservation tourism, as per the definition of Professor Ralph Buckley, commercial tourism which makes a net positive contribution to the continuing survival of threatened plant or animal species. This tourism goes hand in hand with sustainable tourism. And then we also have a responsible tourism that creates better places for people to live in and better places to visit. It can take place in any environment, and many cities have adopted responsible tourism policies. And then pro-poor tourism is tourism that provides net benefits to poor people, as defined by the pro-poor tourism partnership. So in here, the tourism industry is giving employment opportunities to people so that they can also help alleviate poverty. And then community-based tourism, or CBT, is defined by the Mountain Institute and Regional Community Forest Training Center as a visitor-host interaction that has meaningful participation by both and generates economic and conservation benefits for local communities and the environment. So that is on the definitions of adventure tourism as compared to the other tourism sectors. Okay, so I hope that you have understood or have an image or a picture of adventure tourism. I will also give you a video so that you will understand how adventure tourism works and what it usually gives back to the economy, is particularly the community, no? And I hope that you enjoy and learn, and we'll see each other once again to my other lecture in HME 131. Thank you and have a good day.